Do you have any pets?
Yeah, lots of pets. 2 Newfoundlands, big dogs that are about 65 kilograms each. 4 cats. About 30 chickens.
30 chickens, do we eat them?
30 chickens, yeah, we eat them. Yeah. Wow. Is all this because it's holidays?
It's the regular.
That's the regular,
Yeah,
how they have the desk?
regular.
Is it? Wow. Wow. Hello.
And that one, he doesn't have a.
You're beautiful, aren't you? No. Don't they get lonely at the weekend?
They have each other.
Is it a real treadmill?
Yeah, it's a real one.
Do the cats actually use it?
The cats, they prefer to like get out of the room.
Yes, I would as well. Spoilt there. Yeah, he's eating the hair. Is that good? He'll have big hairballs inside. Bagel, don't eat hair. It's not good for you. Okay, I'm in the Bilibili offices at the moment. I'm just about to have an interview. There's so many cameras here. It's ridiculous. That's Juliet. She's looking after me. And I've got a little Bilibili hand warming muff, which is exactly what I wanted, which is lovely. Hi, fans on Bilibili. I'm Ed Stafford. I think it's less about the military for me and more about a connection to nature. I love being outdoors, I like being outside. If I spend an extended period of time in the city, I get a bit frustrated. In life, if you spend all your time in an artificial room with artificial lights, etc., then I don't know, you don't feel connected to anything that's real. But when I'm out in a forest, for example, there's a different energy and I feel more comfortable. Yeah. Parasites, yeah, I was on antibiotics. On the first series of Marooned, it was 9 episodes. I was on antibiotics after every single episode because of drinking bad water, basically. So for some reason, I seem to have toughened up a bit, though. In recent episodes, I haven't had any problems. I have had in the past, but for some reason, I seem to have become a little bit more resilient now. I've been really lucky. I haven't really had any injuries. I had a blister on my foot here in China, but I mean, that was nothing, but then it got infected and so it started swelling up. It became a little bit like cellulitis. So I think because the episodes are back to back and there's a lot being filmed within a sort of 3-month period, I've just got to make sure I look after myself, but I've been, so far, very lucky. I mean, without doubt, I've done more dangerous things in the past. I mean, I've done jobs with the United Nations in Afghanistan, and I've had the Taliban bombing, bombs going off everywhere and the ground shaking, and that was quite dangerous. I've been arrested at gunpoint by drugs traffickers. I've been held up at arrow point by indigenous Indians who were very annoyed with me. I think since making the programs, because you're put in a relatively controlled environment, there's less people problems, i.e. people are often the most dangerous thing. And I think when you're out in the wild, all the big animals, the snakes, the jaguars, all of those sort of things, they keep themselves to themselves, I'll be really lucky to even see one of them. So I think it ends up being not the animals that are the dangerous thing, it ends up being things like having a slip or a fall. And so quite often I'll be high up in the mountains or something and it will be really slippy ground. And it would be something like a slip or a fall that would actually end up getting me in trouble. But I think probably another thing is the remoteness, being very remote, being a long way away from medical help. That makes it all a little bit more dangerous. I started self-filming with walking the Amazon, which was like a 2.5-year journey, and it's funny, isn't it? People say, oh, but how did you get the shot from the front? Well, I walked ahead, set up the camera, walked back, put my rucksack back on, walked back towards the camera, which is ridiculous, but I mean, it was a real expedition. I was walking the length of the Amazon, and yet unless you actually make the time to do that, you're not going to get any shots of you walking towards the camera. So it is just the nature of self-filming, so you have to do that. The series that I did about 3 series ago called Left 4 Dead, for the first time I had a Mavic with me, a DJI Mavic drone, and then suddenly that freed me up because I was able to actually, especially with the automated features, it was able to track me while it was flying, and I could even put the control away in my pack so it didn't look like I had anything in my hands, and then the drone could track me. And then that was good because you could walk without having to go back and collect the camera. But it's just part of the job. And yes, definitely, I wanted to go home lots, but it was miserable. I was definitely depressed. My journals that I kept when I was going through the Peruvian section, some of the pages, they're smeared with tears, actually, because I was just in my hammock at night crying because I was so happy. I used to have this little thing in my brain. There was one question that if I could answer yes to every day, then everything was okay. And that was, have you got closer to the mouth of the Amazon? There wasn't really anything that I was doing for enjoyment. There wasn't anything I was doing for pleasure. It was literally just almost being like an animal, just walking. And that's the thing actually that I'm most proud of, because it was a real event. That I had to have therapy after that, because 60 days of isolation, the first psychotherapist that spoke to me said, look, you've got symptoms that are akin to some hostage survivors, and you've got other symptoms that are Auschwitz survivors, and it's like eating disorder as well, because you become so obsessive about food. I think it takes its toll, is what I'm saying. I.e., if I was to do that all of the time, it would be too difficult. I don't think it would be a sustainable thing to do all the time. It was, yeah, definitely the most difficult thing that I've done in terms of the isolation and just holding it together for 60 days. Equally, I do think that it is almost about time to go back and do something like that again, because I think it was something that I was proud of, and I would like to have that sort of personal challenge again. I wouldn't have thought so. And it was ridiculous. I mean, yes, I failed to get across them, but I mean, I hate admitting failure. I hate admitting failure, and it's humbling. It is extraordinarily humbling, but I don't think I can do this. I think I have to go back. In normal circumstances, you'd need skis or snowshoes to go across, and it was a series where I've just got the clothes that I'm standing up in. So could I have made snowshoes? It was such soft snow. I think that people make snowshoes in survival programs, and then they film them for about 10 seconds walking across it, and then they fall apart, but they don't show the bit where they fall apart. And it's very difficult to make a snowshoe out of natural materials that will actually last more than walking 100 meters. So I think obviously with the right equipment, yes, I could get across, but with nothing, it's a bit tricky. And I think every time you're challenged by a different person, they give you a different challenge. I think each environment provides a different challenge, and I learn more, and each competitor does as well. So I'm constantly learning the whole time, being humbled the whole time, but I think that's a good thing, because obviously being humble is a good thing. Because I'm going bald, don't I? So it's a vanity thing, really. It's much easier just to take all your hair off. There is no survival means at all. I just like having short hair. You know the story of Samson and Delilah? So Samson, his strength was in his hair. The longer my hair gets, the weaker I feel. So if I shave it off, I feel like Samson. I shaved it this morning just to... I like most things I put in my mouth. Because you're invariably hungry when you're out in a survival situation. Everything tastes good, from little plant vegetation to sometimes snails and things, because of the texture, they get stuck in your throat and make you gag, but mostly I like what I eat.
Since we're talking about food.
Oh, breakfast time.
Yeah, here are some Chinese foods that your fans want you to try.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. It tastes like Marmite. That's good. Really like that.
That plate is the fermented tofu. Oh my god, did you eat the whole...
Are you not meant to eat the whole thing?
No, I told you to try a little bit. It's really salty.
It is quite salty.
Here's the water.
That's all right.
Of course. Yeah.
They're good. I like them. Yeah, they're good. And these are fermented eggs, are they?
It's eggs that have been half incubated, and you can even see the fetus.
Oh, lovely.
What?
I think Madagascar, I stumbled across a load of eggs. When I by mistake put my thumb through it, you could see the fetus, but you could see its little heart beating. And it looked like, because my wife was pregnant at the time, it looked like the scan that we've just had of the child in her womb. But then I ate it. Very good. Protein. That's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I had the century eggs, and they're pretty horrible, aren't they?
No.
Thousand-year eggs is worse. I think the sandwiches are good. Bear Grylls, obviously. I'd like to work with Bear, actually. I think he's been very kind to me over the years. I think I'd expect him to be more competitive, and he's actually been really kind. We were at a party the other year, last year, and I was talking to him with my wife, and then I got called away, and it was about 20 minutes I was away. When I came back, he was still chatting to my wife, but he could have easily made an excuse and like excused himself and gone out. And then she met him again about 4 months later, and she'd gone and done an expedition since then, and he remembered everything that she'd said, and he asked her about it. So I think Bear's a lovely guy, and I'd love to work with him actually. That would be really good fun.
You're afraid he's gonna eat you.
He's gonna eat me.
In some way.
I don't think it's as complicated as people make out. So yeah, I mean, go and do it. It starts with just basic camping, doesn't it? You know, sleeping outdoors, sleeping under the stars, and all you need is a sheet of plastic or whatever to put over your head, or even, not even that if it's a nice summer day. I think don't be intimidated by it. You know, the outdoors seems really scary, but actually it's not. As soon as you spend more time and get more experience, it's a lovely environment. I think far less scary than being in a big city. So just go and do it. If you don't have any experience at all, it'd be good to go in with somebody who does have a little bit more experience. Advocate of the Scouts, which is a big youth movement for getting kids outdoors, and so I just think, yeah, the more time people spend outdoors next to nature, the better. The more healthy everyone feels, better for mental health, better for a lot of things. Luckiest man on the planet. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to do what I do. I get paid for doing what I love, for being outdoors, for setting myself challenges. So yeah, extraordinarily lucky. 我普通话说得不好，白活多，
拜火多，
白活多，多爱饿得，
爱饿的。
爱饿得。
That's you. No hair.
There you go, that's me, no hair, yeah. You can't sit there with a light the whole time. how are you gonna eat?
This is a tanner in pig's nose.
And
this is a sheep.
Wow.
Do you like it?
That's good. Yeah, that's nice. Chewy, but nice, yeah. Sheep's penis. That's actually right.
可以的。
好吃啊。
来上好
Thought of eating.
大家打扰一下，看我们注意。
的是烤猪眼睛，
I deliberately picked all the things that
稍微凉一些的。
funny. It's still good. Hello everyone, I'm Billy Billy. My name is Ed Stafford. Thank you first of all for all of the support on this channel. It's amazing how much support I've got in China. All of the shows that my back catalogue, Naked and Marooned, Left 4 Dead, you can watch them all here. In the upcoming series, First Man Out of China, I'm up against a lot of survival experts. They're all very, very credible survival experts in their own right. I've also been to loads of different environments in China, which has made me realise what an amazing country this is and what an amazing job you guys are doing of saving the environment and protecting your natural landscapes. So it's been a phenomenal time, and wishing you all the best, and I hope China can be as strong and as can be better and stronger. That sounds weird, doesn't it? It sounds like it's weak. It's currently weak. Yeah.